and barrel racing. Her best rodeo memory is hearing the national anthem and watching the American flag race around the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Katie Hillen.
For the past 11 years, I've attended the Springville Rodeo, and every time I went, I wished I could participate in it. I admired the newly selected queens and the way they carried themselves during the grand entrance. They sat high in the saddle, had great control of their horse, and I loved the way they saluted to the crowd. I've grown up on the ranch with my mom, dad, and brother John, surrounded by my passion, horses. I believe that working with horses makes one a better person because they teach you to be responsible, dependable, attentive, as well as learning how to respect an animal 10 times your size. I work with my horses every day so that I may become a better horsewoman and build stronger relationships with my horses. I'm currently a junior at Porterville High School. I'm an active member on the Junior Fair Board. I serve as the secretary for the Prairie Center 4-H Club. I compete at local ski shooting competitions, and I barrel race at local rodeos, including the Wood Lake Rodeo. I started riding when I was 4 years old, and back then, I preferred the slower, calmer, more mature horses. However, once I discovered speed, that's when my parents realized that I would need a horse that could keep up with my endless hours of riding. That's when I got Cece. When I got Cece, I was 6 years old and she was 4, and boy, did she act her age. She's always been known as the little firecracker of a horse, and she flaunts it. I remember when I was younger, well, I can't really say when I was younger because I actually did it last week, but I would have my mom stand in the middle of the arena and belt out the national anthem while Cece and I ran in circles around her as fast as we could go while I was saluting to my audience. Well, the audience is actually the 4 dogs we have, but I know they enjoyed it. Cece and I both know that the grand entrance is a super important part to our rodeo because that's how you represent the rodeo that you come from while attending other rodeos. So we practice it quite frequently, but it's not like either of us mind doing that. And for those of you who have yet to meet Cece, prepare yourselves because you're about to meet her today, for she is the horse I will be competing on later on in horsemanship part of this competition. But when it comes down to it, being rodeo queen isn't just about the grand entrance or the pretty hair or the shiny shirts. It's about promoting something you love. It's about promoting something you are proud to be a part of. And I know that I'm ready to promote the best rodeo I know, the Springville Rodeo. Thank you.
I have 4 important questions for you. Question number 1. If you could choose to be one of the following for the day, which would you choose and why? A steer wrestling horse, a bareback horse, or a rodeo queen horse?
Wow. I have to say, that's a pretty tough decision. Wow, if I could be a rodeo queen horse, or a steer wrestling horse, or a bareback horse, whew, I think I'd choose the bareback horse, because you only got to work for 8 seconds.
Question number 2. The Springville Rodeo is looking for new sponsors. Who would you seek out to become a sponsor, and how would you convince them?
If I could find new sponsors for the Springville Rodeo, it would have to be, I think it would have to be Ford Motors. Because Ford, we own Fords, we love Fords, and they're always great. You don't have to push them. Always reliable. And I know that I could convince them by telling them how great our rodeo is, how many people we get out every year, how it's not only a fun event, but it's an event that brings the community together. And that's what it's about.
Question number 3. What do you feel is the most important attribute for a rodeo announcer to have?
The most important attribute for a rodeo announcer to have? You would have to be comical. Because I see a lot of barrel racers go out, bull riders, bronc riders, anyone, all the athletes. And if they have a rough day, you want someone that's going to make light of it. You don't want to go home and say, darn, I wish I could have done better, because that's what everyone does. And they feel bad and they kick themselves for it. But if you have a rodeo announcer that just makes the funniest joke out of it, you're going to go home laughing. And you're going to do better the next time because you know that everyone does it.
Final question number 4. What motivated you to run for the 2014 Springville Rodeo Queen title?
What my biggest motivation was to run for Springville Rodeo Queen title was that I want to promote my favorite sport, and that's rodeo in general. Rodeo is not only a sport, but it's a lifestyle. I was raised around it, and I want to promote it. I want to show people how great it is and how much I love it, because I know that I can promote it, especially knowing that this is the best rodeo there is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Katie Hillen.